We gonna bring it. Check it out, y'all.
Kidda Sajno Mitro, welcome to DesiBoyz podcast, episode 4. Zain, Chakade.
How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's enjoyed themselves. Hope everyone's had a good week. We've got a very, very special guest on tonight. It's Yash's sister, Manisha.
Hi, everybody. My name's Manisha. I just can't stop laughing because you two are just jokers, honestly. But yeah, my name's Manisha. I'm Yashi's sister. And we're not in the same camera because we don't live together. I'm married. I live in Birmingham. And yep, that's it. And I just thought that I would come in and talk to these boys about something. Well, men or boys, whatever you like.
It's all right.
Well, we're sort of
Same thing,
in
innit?
between at the moment.
Same to same.
We're in between at the moment. Same to same. In between at the moment. Yeah, we had a lot of requests last week to talk about bullying because we touched on it. So we thought we'd ask Sister Manisha to come in and talk to us about it because she has experience. So if you want to start us off, Manisha, and just talk to us about what you went through and how it was, what you went through.
Yeah, last week I heard your podcast and I just thought that, bullying is much more. I think there was a part in my life where I wasn't ready to talk about it. I just wanted to just forget that part of my life ever happened. And I think bullying has been a big part of my life. And I think without it, I wouldn't be what I am today. I wouldn't be as strong as I am today. And I don't think I would even be able to talk about it if, bullying wasn't there, because I wouldn't have known what it is and I wouldn't be able to feel what it feels like to be bullied and what other people are going through. I think when I used to go to school, my primary school, it was amazing. It was just like you would see in the movies. Get up in the morning, go happily to school, play, come home, no problems at all. And I think I got to year 6. There was an incident what happened in year 6. Don't want to mention it or go into it because it's completely off topic. But I think from that time, I can say stuff like bullying started. And I always use that incident as a start to bullying because I can't say that incident was bullying, but it just made me feel like I felt when I was bullied. So for me, I've been a simple girl all my life. My parents, they really, I wouldn't say religious, but they're really Indian minded. And they've always tried to put us in, make us closer to our roots all the time. My mum's not wanting us to ever be, more westernized. She wants us to be just in proper Indians, know about our culture, know about, my mum definitely wanted us to know how to speak our language,
which is important.
Very important.
Very important.
Yeah, like I was saying to Yash the other day because we was discussing if I'm going to come on the podcast or not, and I was just saying to Yash that I'm really lucky and we're really lucky that we can speak our language. In Pakistani people, I know that's a must. You need you need to know your language. I think
it's changing a bit now. There's the generation after me, some of them can, some of them can't, but most of my generation can because we have either mother or father, one of them will be from back home, or both of them. So in my case, my mum's from back home, so I had to learn Punjabi growing up, and my whole family spoke Punjabi. When I was raised, I grew up in a family of nearly 23 people in 2 houses joined together. So Papa Punjabi bold this up. So it's no different for me. I find it normal. And people sometimes when I speak Punjabi or when I speak Urdu or something, they're quite surprised. They think, bloody hell, you can speak it good, but they don't realize that I've been doing it all my life.
Do they say to you that it sounds like you're from back home?
Yeah, they do. So certain people are surprised and they think, how have you learned it? That's one question I always get. How can you speak Punjabi so well? I'm like, well, I was born in a Punjabi speaking family. We all speak Punjabi, so it's normal for me. Or some people say, oh, how long have you been in England?
Yeah.
I'm like, my life. I didn't move here. and I'm born and raised here, and then that's even more
Yeah.
shocking to them.
I
But
think
what
that's
they
what,
don't,
yeah.
what they don't understand is like we had to, like us three, we had to speak Punjabi to our parents. ਉਹ ਗੱਲ ਏਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਸਮਝਦੇ ਸਨ ਕਿ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਬੋਲਣਾ ਨਾ ਬੋਲਣਾ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਟੂ ਬੋਲਦਾ ਹੈ, you know, smack you in the face to be like, speak Punjabi.
Yeah.
It's normal for us.
Yeah, like it seemed like I don't know, Yash, no one would say to him in my, like in our culture, that, you know, that you're from back home, even though he knows Punjabi, because the way Yash speaks Punjabi and the way I speak Punjabi is two completely different things. Like me, when I was born, it was just me, my parents, and everybody spoke Punjabi. Time everybody used to come to your house, even if they just they would say, oh, let me just pop in, and every
Yeah.
single person would speak Punjabi. So my Punjabi was just like a girl who would be from India. And when I grew up and used to, like, me and Yasha, my sister, we do a lot of like community work in the temple and stuff. And whenever I would go and there would be someone who doesn't know me, they would say, are you from India? Kinna chair ho gaya India to I knew. And I was like, I'm not from India, I'm from here, which I never minded because it made me feel proud that I know my
You feel
language.
proud? Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that, people think I'm from India. So yeah, my mom and dad have always like wanted us to be Indian and, you know, don't become
And
something, you know.
it's funny as well, isn't it, that like when you go back to India and you speak Punjabi, they'll say, oh, how come you speak Punjabi so well?
Yeah,
And you're like,
yeah,
well,
yeah,
this
yeah.
is why. So it's
But
sort of
some words, they still take the piss out of us. They're like, oh, you just said this word like this. And I'm like, oh yeah.
Like I
Thanks
like
for
I can't
reminding
I
me
can't
that,
say
you
the, I can't say the word you know, horse in Punjabi properly. Like sometimes I say koda, like it's supposed to be koda, right? But like I say it
Koda.
like very differently sometimes. It doesn't bother me.
Koda means
Koda.
means sour.
That's what he
I say
says.
koda,
He says
koda.
koda. You know,
Koda.
like can't say
Ko-
that k word
Koda.
really strongly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because
Koda.
English is very simple language, I think. Like it's very
But
soft.
but in Punjabi is very
Punjabi is
simple.
very rough, I think.
Do you think it sounds rough?
I don't think it's rough as in, I'm not saying like, oh, you know, like you would say, oh yeah, it sounds really chubby or something. Not like that rough. Like the words are rough. Like in Punjabi, the writing in Punjabi, there's like always two letters for like I don't know if you know the Punjabi language, like writing.
Sort of, yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, because like we went to Gurdwara and my mum and dad made us, well, they didn't make us, I wanted to learn Punjabi, and we did GCSE in Punjabi, so I wouldn't say I know how to, like, you know, read books or in Punjabi or write a big essay,
Yeah.
because I haven't done it for a long time, but I still recognize the alphabet and stuff.
Yeah.
But there's two letters for everything, so R, there would be two ways of saying it.
Yeah.
And like K, so like it just shows that they're soft k and the hard k. So like
Gosh, yeah,
that's
there
why
is.
we can't say it, because in English everything is just really soft, I think, compared to
Yeah,
Punjabi.
it is. But
Definitely
guys,
is, definitely
the main
is.
topic,
Let's get back to-
we're going off a topic.
Let's get
That's
back
what
to
I was going
bullying.
to say as
We're
well.
supposed to talk about
Let's get
bullying,
back
but we
to
got to
bullying.
Punjabi instead.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
get back
well,
to Punjabi, but let's talk
yeah,
about
well,
bullying.
the only thing I'm trying to say is that, you know, I was very Indian or Punjabi or Asian or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And I think always when I went to school, I always wanted to fit in. I wasn't like, you know, the girls who wanted to, you know, have this hair straightened, lip gloss on, eyebrows done. I wasn't that at all. I just wanted to be very simple. You know, for me, I went to school to like study and, you know, become something. Because that's what our mum and dad put into our head, that, you know, like my dad came to England when he was about 8. My mum came when she was 13. So they've been in England a long time, but they've always been associated with Asian people. They've not really, you know, my mum worked in an office, so there's not really that much communication she's had with English people or people who speak English. So that's why my dad can speak good English, and so my mum can now, but they still like, it's not fluent like us.
Yeah.
So yeah, my mum always taught me that, you know, we need to go to school to educate, don't laugh too much, don't mess around, you know. So that's what I was assuming to that's why I thought I'm going to school to do. So when I went, I started school. I think year 7 was fine. Everything was okay, but I don't know why. I always wanted to fit in all the time. Like I was the only Indian girl in the class. There was English people, there was Pakistani people. I think there was one Indian, but he was a boy. So it didn't really make sense for me to like be friends with him. And being Indian, being friends with a boy
It-
wasn't right.
Yeah, back then, I mean, it's a
Back then, it's a different culture, innit?
yeah, because
Yeah.
you got to know that my sister is very older than a lot older than us.
Very
Not very
old.
older, not
You
very
should be
older.
saying that. You
I
actually,
am
Older than
so
us.
old.
come on, you actually saying you're supposed to be saying stuff
Not
like
very
that.
older.
Yeah.
Older than us. And a
Yeah,
She's older than us, yeah. That's
I don't mind
understandable,
mentioning my age.
she's
I'm
not-
30.
She's 30
I
by
just
the way,
turned
guys. So,
30,
yeah, she
yeah.
just said it's all right.
I'm 8 years older than Yash, and I'm 4 years older than my sister. So yeah, I'm quite older than Yash. 8 years is a lot. But yeah, so I just went to school to, always fit in. I always wanted to be friends. I always make friends. And I don't think I was ever accepted. Like, in back in them days anyway, like the Pakistan people always stick together. English people always stick together. And I was just the one Indian, like had
But was
nowhere
it
to
really
go.
different back then though, as it like from now? Like nowadays you see schools and
What
It
school
was,
was this?
is it okay to mention the school?
yeah, you can mention it.
Yeah.
You mentioned
not?
it, but yeah.
I went to Rhodesway. So at that time, it used to be like one of the worst schools in Bradford. And the reason I went there, because it was the closest to my house. We
Yeah.
just I tried to get into
Dixon's Olderton now, innit?
yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
tried to
Dixon
get
Olderton,
into
Thornton.
a different school, Thornton Grammar, yeah. But it wasn't in the catchment area, and back
Yeah.
in them days, they didn't if you're not in the catchment area, it's very rare they would take you on. So
Yeah.
I just had to go to it. And plus, all my uncles who did go to school, who were really young, they went to Rhodesway. And when they found out I was going to Rhodesway, they were just taking the piss. They were like, it's not the same school we went to. It's really bad now. And my mum and dad always said to me, a kid, if you're going to get into education, they can even get educated in a rubbish school.
Definitely.
Like if I want to be educated, if I want to, do my degree or do my GCSEs, it's up to me. It's not up to the people around me. It doesn't matter how bad the school is. The teachers are still going to teach us.
Yep, you got to put your head down and try and teach yourself if you have to.
But I feel
And
like
to tell you-
nowadays it's harder because even probably back then as well, because the thing is, even because of bullying, it's harder to study as well. Because
Yeah.
if you're getting bullied all the time, then it's like that's always on your mind and the work. You know what I mean? And in class, people do pick on you a lot of times, and the teachers won't even see that. Teachers won't even notice it because they're doing their own
I think
stuff.
it's tougher when you're a minority, in the
Yeah.
sense
Yeah.
where, if you're a part of that group of people that are doing these sorts of things, it's you can ignore it in a certain way. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if you're a minority getting bullied or getting treated badly, I think it's more tougher on them.
Definitely.
Bradford, where we're from, especially our little areas, the
Yeah.
main consensus of people is Asian. Even like there's not a lot of white people in our classes or black people or
Mhm.
and then even within that, there's groups that you look into, like the Pakistani people, the Indian people, the Chinese people, this people, that people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like to tell you the truth, people said, it was the worst school, but it wasn't even that bad. Like in education wise, it wasn't that bad. It was okay. Like it wasn't the best school. I don't have happy memories of it, but I wouldn't say, oh yeah, I regret going or whatever, because like what I wanted to say was like, I was the only Indian, didn't really have much friends. I eventually did make friends with Pakistani girls, and we became good friends for a year. And at that time when I joined Rhodesway, there was 2 sites. So there was I think they just finished middle schools then.
Yeah.
So they were running half the school in the middle school and the half of the school in the other site, what was the secondary school. So we was in the middle school, and that was completely away from the big school. So all the children it feels so weird to say children because I was, I feel like I'm talking about
people,
myself.
all the people.
Yeah. Well, anyway, all the children, I'm just going to say, because they are children, doesn't matter how old they think they are. But at that time, it was everybody our age, so it wasn't bad. Like we got on, and I was happy that, you know, we're away. I always had this like scaredness feeling in my heart. I don't know why. I just always used to be really quiet, thinking, oh, everybody's older than me. I was always like scared of being knocked out or something by someone. Like, I don't want to say too much. Someone might come after me or whatever. Like nowadays in the schools, I think a lot of people have come away from culture and like they just think, oh, you know, if we want to be friends, we'll be friends. Doesn't matter if they're Indian, doesn't matter if they're Pakistani, doesn't matter if they, you know, African, doesn't matter what they are. But if we want to be the friends, we'll be. But back then, I think a lot of in our culture, people were taught that, you know, stick to your own people, don't make, you know, friends outside. And I think that was the problem back then. But because we was in the middle school, I didn't really face any bullying in year 7. But then in the year 8, they were making a new building at the other site. So all the secondary school would be on one site. So then we eventually moved up to the new site, and all the children from year 7 to year 11, they were all in one site. So everybody was with everyone at playtime, lunchtime. I still call it play. Yeah.
That's when middle school finished, I think.
Yeah. So in break time, lunchtime, everybody was together. So there was a lot more, you know, time to bully and stuff like that. There were older people.
So what type of bullying
So
did you
yeah,
go through then? So what type of, like, you know, did anything ever happen?
like just name calling, name calling, like, you know.
We don't have to say what it is, but like, was it just more mental rather than physical? No physical bullying.
It was more mentally, I think. I think there was once or twice, you know, it was physical. It wasn't like to the extent that, you know, I would say that I was bruised and stuff like that. It wasn't to that extent. But you know what they say, words affect people more than physical.
Yeah, they do.
And you know, when like people are bullying, they don't really understand what they're doing to people. Like they just think at that moment, you know, we're just having a joke, you know, we're having a laugh. Let's pick on the Indian girl. She's the only one. They don't understand what they're doing until, like, I think a lot of bullies, they don't understand that they're bullying. They just think, oh, we're having a laugh. They don't understand what effect it's going to make on the person. So like now in this age, it really does affect me. It affects me every time. I have like bad days like that. I wouldn't say, you know, I'm in depression or anything like that, but sometimes I wake up and, you know, a memory will just come in my head. I think everybody goes through it, you know, memories always flick in your brain. And for me, it's always the bad memories. Like, just like one day I'll wake up and I'll remember, you know, this girl used to say this to me. I don't even know why she used to say it to me. Like, and then I question myself. I question, why did people treat me like that? Why couldn't I fit in? Like, you know, me, my mum and dad have always taught me, you know, everybody's equal, doesn't matter what religion or caste or, you know, ethnicity or whatever. So when I went into school, I just saw people as people, humans, not as, you know, Pakistani, Indian, you know, divided. I didn't see them like that. So that's why I always tried to fit in. I always tried to make an effort, you know, to make friends, but no one wanted to be my friend. I think I just have some repellent that no one wants to, you know, be like friends with me. Like today, till this day, I can't say that, yeah, I've got 100 friends. I can't even say I've got one friend. For me, I wouldn't class someone who I say hi to as a friend. Yeah, I know a lot of people know me. They speak to me when I see them at events. You know, they talk to me, hi, hello, how's life going or whatever. But I wouldn't really class them as my friends. Yeah, I might say, oh yeah, this is my friend if I'm introducing them. But there's nothing else I can say. They're not really my friend. They don't contact me or anything like that. I don't really have someone like you and Yash. You ring each other, talk to each other all day. I have no one. Like, I don't have no friends. The only friends I have is my brother, my sister, my mom and my dad, and my husband and my child. Like, and then, so in school, you know, kids would like call me names. They would just, you know, always mention my ethnicity, mention my religion and the way I look different. I don't, dress up like the other girls. So it used to hurt, sometimes I used to go home. I used to go home and cry that I don't want to go to school next day. I never told my mum and dad because you just feel, if you tell your mum and dad, they're going to go in school, talk to the teacher, everybody's going to find out you're grassed. And you just don't do anything about it. You just live through it.
Names, grasser, you're a grasser.
Yeah. And then you just think, it's just a few more days. We'll be out of year 7. We'll be out of year 8. And time just goes on and on and on. And it just never ending. Like,
did it ever get better, or was it always the same?
It did get better. I actually was bullied by a girl who was in a year younger than me, but I was always timid. I was short. I'm not very tall. I'm 5'1.5". I always add the half because it means a lot to me. But yeah, I'm 5'1.5", and everybody was taller than me, even the year 7 people, and people would say, "Oh yeah, that girl's Indian," And there was this girl. She would always come, and she wouldn't do anything to me or hit me or anything. She would always try to intimidate me. And once she just grabbed my coat, pulled me down on the floor. It was raining. I had a white coat on. All my coat was full of mud. And before I could go tell the teacher, she ran. And she said, "Miss, that girl pushed me on the floor, but she fell herself, so I couldn't tell the truth." And then, because there was this technician, he was Indian in the school, they all made a thing up. "Oh yeah, she fancies that guy. She fancies that teacher. She fancies him. She fancies him." Whenever he would come in the school anywhere, they would grab my coat, literally make me stand in front of him. And the teacher actually thought I fancied him, but I didn't. So they would do stuff like that. And my coat used to have fur on it, the one what comes off with the buttons. They would put it off, put it around, I wasn't accepted. I didn't fit in. And I would think, when I go home after family events, I would be safe. I would have friends. Even my own relatives don't want to be my friend. Forget anything else. I don't know what it is. I just think that people just don't want to be my friend. Like me, I'm just straight up like my mum. If I need to say something, I'll say it. And I've only become like this now. Like this at this age, I'm just.
Well, like you said, it's a terrible thing to go through. I hope them people are ashamed of themselves, because it's not something that's
yeah,
but like you said, it's made you a stronger person. It does have an effect on people.
Yeah, I did want to mention as well, this podcast is not for sympathy. It's not to make anybody feel bad.
No, but people need the awareness that this stuff has happened, and it might still be going on now.
Yeah.
No, but in case someone who I know, or someone who has bullied me watches this, it's not to make them feel bad. I'm over it. It still affects me. I still get upset about it, but I just believe that there's a higher power who can take care of that for me. That's not my job to step in and take revenge on people. I wouldn't take revenge on anybody anyway, but
Well, not being 5'1.5", you would.
yeah, but I just don't know why. I would go to school, I would just be bullied for no reason sometimes, sitting down in the class, someone throwing something at my head, tell the teacher. So once the teacher asked me something about something what happened in class, and I told the truth. I said it was this girl. That girl came to me in the thing, I think it was about smoking or something. She was smoking, and the teacher was asking me, "Have you seen her smoke?" And I said, "Yeah." Because I'm just not that type of person. Mum and dad haven't taught me to lie. Our mum and dad have always taught me to be honest. So I told the truth. Me, I always thought, I was scared of getting in trouble. Yeah, so that girl confronted me in the playground. She grabbed me and she smacked me in my face for telling the teacher that.
Oh dear.
And I was just never strong enough to stand up for myself. I just walked away and didn't do anything about it. Didn't tell my mom, didn't tell anybody. I just thought, yeah, it's happened, just forget it. And then once, I'm mentioning some of these situations, but I don't think it really matters now. But
Well, it
there
matters.
was
It matters because someone could be
Well,
going
that-
through that right now. Somebody could be going to
no,
school.
I
right
mean
now.
like like me telling the situation, like
You
I
never
don't
know.
think them.
Manisha, someone might be going through that same situation. Might think, hold on,
Yeah.
it happened to her. It's happened to me. Maybe I should do something about it.
Yeah, like once there was this teacher, she came into the class and she had one of her personal letters with her address on it. And this person, we always sit in a, what do you call it, seating plan. And someone picked that letter up off of her diary and put it in front of me. And I didn't even look at it thinking what it was. I just picked it up and put it on the side. And the teacher saw me put it to the side. So I was put on report for that. I've never been in report in my life. And even though I did mess around still, I was always laughing for no reason. And yeah, when the teacher put me on report, she said to me, come to my office. I cried so much. I said, please don't tell my parents, you know, my mum's going to be really angry. Not that I was scared of my parents. It's just that my mum and dad, you know, I've never been through that, like, you know, being in trouble, getting a phone call home or anything. So for me, that was like, you know,
Yeah,
my
'cause you
mum and
don't know
dad
what's
can't
going to
find out.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I obviously knew my mum and dad were going to be angry. They weren't going to, well, you know, like go, oh, you're not going to eat food for a week or something. But they were just going to, you know, give me a lecture. And for me, I don't like listening to lectures. I don't like being in trouble. I just, you know, want everything to just go smoothly and, you know, not have any conflict with anybody. So yeah, I went on report for that. And then I think I got to about year 9. At the end of year 9, I made these really good friends, 2 girls who became my friends. They were like well known, like their sisters were in the school, and becoming friends with them was a jackpot for me because like no one could say anything to me.
Yeah,
They
because
would stick up.
you got friends, you made friends with the G's, innit?
Yeah.
The top
And you
G's.
know, if anything happened, they would call their sisters in. You know, this person's doing this to my friend, come sort it out. And when they would find out, you know, who it is, people would just back off, just forget it. So I think the last 3 years of my school went really well, you know, because of them girls. And I wouldn't say,
Like, proud of themselves. They did a good thing.
yeah, they were my good friends at that time, but I wouldn't say, they did still say, called me the names people called me. They would just refer to me as that, but I didn't ever think of it that much about them because I was like, you know, they are still my friends. Still sticking up for me. So who cares if they're saying something like that, you know? So it didn't really affect me. I don't think about that. But everything else, what people said to me and done, I don't remember everything. Like it just comes in my head some days, you know, that this person said this to me, but then it just goes out when I just, you know, talk to myself, you know, it's all right, it's done, you know, whatever happened. And then I went to college. I didn't have like, I've never had friends like who still talk to me till today. Yeah, I have like on Facebook, Instagram, but I don't really, you know, have a conversation with them or let's meet up or anything like that. Like I just never ever had that relationship with anybody, you know, that being my friends. And to tell you the truth, even bullying never stops. It never stops even till this day. Yeah, it gets more civilized. The bullying becomes more civilized then. It's through like, direct talking, like, you know, trying to say something else, but you know, you want to say something else. It becomes very, you know, indirect, and people think you don't realize, but you do realize that you say it. And I just think it's just, I think, you know, people really need to know that, you know, it really affects people. It affects them mentally, and you know, it ruins their life.
Yeah.
Because you know me, like I'm really scared. I've got a son. He's 1.5. Well, he's going to be 1.5 in 2 months. And when I think about him going to school, I just pray to God, you know, let him not have a childhood like me, like, you know, going to school and being bullied. I think the only time I felt safe in my life was when I was at home with my mum and dad. Before that, when I went to school, I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel, you know, any of the teachers would, you know, help me. or anything. That's why I never mentioned it. And people need to know that, you know, it's okay. You know, tell your parents, they'll talk. At least it will, you know, make a little bit of impact. You know, the person will be scared that, you know, we're not going to do that, or she's going to. Who cares if they're going to call you grasser? You'd rather live a happy life, you know, being called a grasser rather than being bullied every single day of your life.
Yeah.
And
Also,
I think people.
I think that, you know, like, also, like, you should tell your parents, but I feel like parents should be a friend to the kid more than being a parent.
Yeah, they should ask, you know, what's going on at school.
Yeah.
Is everything all right? Because I know our Asian parents, they don't have that quality in them. They don't ask, oh, how was your day at school? You've come from school, oh yeah, come on, just let's go here or let's go there. It's never like, oh yeah, what did you do at school? What did your teacher do? What have your friends done? Who's your friend at school or anything like that?
Or
But
if
now
anything okay, or, you know, has anyone said anything to you, you know, just let us know or
I
whatever.
think that's the older parents. I think the parents now, like that I've seen, like my uncles and aunties and stuff, they do ask them, they
yeah,
do.
no,
How's it
definitely. That's
like
what.
Manisha, like you'd ask your kid when he goes to school,
Yeah,
how's your day? What you do? Like my auntie's probably the same age as you. She's got 3 kids, and I know for a fact she asks her kids every time they go to school, what have you done? You know, they get certificates or they've done something good. They give them, you know,
yeah,
like ask how they've been. And I think teachers now are more involved as well in that sense, where if they see something
yeah.
happening, they will contact parents, even if the child doesn't know.
Doesn't
Or
say anything. Yeah,
they arrange meetings and things like that. There is a lot more awareness about things in general, even if it's bullying as well, but even if it's just generally to think, oh, you know, this kid has changed in a way where he's not the same.
yeah. Like that's what I was saying. Like nowadays, because I've worked in teaching, I've worked in a school for like since I was 16 till I was 25. I've always worked in schools, nurseries, teaching and nurseries, you know, like a play lady, I don't know what you call them. Yeah, like actual nursery, but I used to go in for just experience. So I wouldn't really give myself a title for it. I just did it free. You know, I've always been interested in working with children, but I don't work with children no more. I work for myself. I own my own business, and in product photography, me and my husband work together, and I'm doing well. You know, I'm happy. I think a lot of people always say to me, "Oh, what are you doing? Why are you not doing teaching no more? Why are you not doing, you know, what you did your education in?" And I think I just had enough. Like since 16 till 25, 10 years or 9 years is a lot of time. And I just had enough, you know, working under someone all the time. Like I
Yeah,
know a
you
lot
get
of
to a
people
point.
say, yeah, I know a lot of people might think, oh, because I work with my husband, I'm not independent. Because I have had that said to me before. That, oh, why don't you be independent and do your own thing? But people don't understand. I am independent. It's them who are not independent because they're working for a boss. If he throws you out tomorrow, how are you going to be independent? You are dependent on your boss. I am dependent on no one. I'm my own boss.
Yeah.
It's up to me
Plus
to get the business.
You're choosing to work with your husband at a business that you're doing yourself. So that's how much more independent can you be?
Yeah, and plus I feel like even like even if you do even if you are doing a job, you know, it can always change. You know, you always want to do something else. You want to be your own boss, or you want to do something else, or you want to do
Listen,
this.
there's no.
So I feel like it's okay to do anything you want to do in life, but I feel like people shouldn't judge that either.
Yeah, like I think that's a form of bullying when people say that to you, you know, or you're working with your husband. You know, when my husband started this business, I knew him, you know, we started this together, we discussed it together. You know, he didn't just come up with all these ideas himself, we did it together. And people don't understand that, and I don't think they will, because our Asians just think, especially the educated ones, or if you've done education, why don't you just do your job, what you know you've done your education for? But they don't understand, you know, in some jobs there's no growth, you're just there stuck at one thing, you know. And in your own business, it's up to you what you're gonna, if you're gonna grow your business, if you're gonna take it down, if you're gonna, you know, expand it. It's all up to you.
Do you think that's something that's, like you said, it might be it's a sort of form of bullying, but do you think that's just our Asian mentality on boys and girls? Because we were talking about that before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you think there is a difference in that?
definitely. I think there is, like, in Indian culture, there's a lot of difference in girls and boys.
Yeah.
Boys are always seen as you know, like the king of the family, and the girls are just, you know, yeah, they've come in our life, you know, just go in the kitchen and do your job. Like, it don't matter if they don't get educated. Obviously, I'm not saying my family are like that. My mum and dad have always been for education. They've always been, you know, always motivated us. My mum's always said, oh, I want my daughters both to be educated, so then, you know, tomorrow they don't have to be dependent on their husband or dependent on anybody else. You know, if tomorrow I decide to, you know, yeah, like tomorrow if I decide, you know, I don't want to do business no more, I want to go back into education, I can do that because I've got the education to do that. But if I didn't and I was just doing a business, tomorrow I wouldn't be able to. Hopefully I don't ever have to go back into teaching because it's just a big headache. I know people have to do the job, but for me, I just think being, you know, my own boss is the best thing. But yeah, I think that boys are treated very differently. I don't know if you know that in India, people actually, when they find, it's not allowed in India to find out the gender of your child. That's the reason, because people just kill their daughters, whether in the womb or when they're born. So in India, if they find out the gender, they'll abort the child before, you know, the child can be born.
If it's a girl.
Yeah. And
They won't do it if it's a boy.
It's mad.
No, they won't do it if it's a boy, because a boy is pride of the family. Like, I don't know if it's not every family. It's just people who have got, you know, backwards thing.
Have that backward.
And a lot of people who are like poor, who can't afford, you know, to have a daughter. For them, having a daughter is a weight on their shoulders. Yeah, they just think, oh, a boy's gonna, you know, get older, work, feed us, feed the family. But they believe girls can't do that when they can. So yeah, they would abort the child.
That's something that's unbelievable to me. I didn't know that. Something, I think, no, I don't think that's honor killing. Honor killing is something else. That's really bad. That is unbelievable.
It is actually really bad.
Yeah.
I'm sure it probably does happen in Pakistan as well. But I don't think it's, I doubt it. Like, not too much anyway. It might be, obviously there's certain people who probably might go down that road. Wow. I mean, just thinking about that, that's like, how bad is that?
It's disgusting because
because it gives you that thinking of like
murder.
Yeah, because it gives you that thinking of like, does that person have like any feeling towards that thing, you know, towards their own child as well?
Wait, your own child, like you.
No, but like I'm saying, like, you know, when they abort the child, I don't think they've made that bond, so it's easier. But the weird thing is, when the child, because a lot of people can't afford to find out the gender, so then they just give birth to a child. If it's a girl, then that's it. Dump it in the bin, dump it on the road, dump it in front of a temple. You know, it's just, I just don't.
That's even happened as well.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm sure it was. I'm sure. Yeah,
I'm not lying. There's been so many things where they found where, you know, a baby.
There was a child stuck in a pipe.
Yeah.
A pipe, and the only way they found out, because they could hear the baby crying in the pipe.
Luckily, it was still.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just like, basically, just like bullying. Like, you know, back in when I was in school, people didn't mention bullying. They didn't talk about it. It was something, oh yeah, it wasn't just brushed under the carpet. You don't need to talk about it. But nowadays, people are opening up. Like, I watch a lot of YouTube. I don't really watch TV much. It's only if like there's an interesting program on, like iPlayer or something, I'll watch. But apart from that, I just watch YouTube. And a lot of people lately have been talking about their stories about bullying. And I think that's the same thing with this girl and boy thing. A lot of people, it's been happening for centuries. It's been happening, God knows, way before my mum and dad was born, and way before my grandparents were born. And it's just that people never mentioned it then. They just thought it was a normal thing. Yeah, just get rid of the girl. But now, because of the media, girls being educated in India, taking a step forward, out of the norm, they they're they've been introduced to this part of India, what
Yeah,
doesn't respect women, doesn't respect girls, and they've started to do something about it. Like
I think that's a generational thing, isn't it? When people are just the more educated, the more
yeah,
understanding, they know that this is wrong. I mean, it's wrong. But there's so many things that people haven't really caught on to just yet, or they're oblivious to.
yeah.
Which
I
mentioned
think
like
it's just gonna
human
happen slowly.
trafficking.
Yeah.
It is,
Yeah.
but human
Because of
trafficking.
media, there's a lot of people working in
Yeah.
media now who
Mm.
want to, expose all this.
Mm,
Mm.
But as I was saying as well the other day to you, I was saying to my sister the other day that, it's like this girl and boy thing is a certain generation of thinking, So when that generation is gone, the new generation that's coming still, that will hopefully, I hope that it changes that mindset and it changes the way people do think, because there
well,
is a lot of difference. Like
I think
I
it has
do,
done.
yeah, it has done a little bit, but not as much as it should have done already. But like, because it's still going on in India, all this boy and girl stuff. And the thing
Yeah,
is that I do know certain friends as well that are girls, and they've even told me their story about them, going through a lot of bullying, or this girl and boy kind of differences in their family or in their community, that she's a girl and she has to look a certain way because she's a girl, and if it's a guy, it's fine, but why is that
Yeah,
fine? Like, I understand she's a
like
girl, yeah, and yeah, but like, I'm not trying to say that, yeah, just do whatever you want and just do all the wrong things as well. Everybody knows what's right and wrong if you think about it in a certain sense, right? But the thing is, like, when it comes to differences, why are boys given more of a leeway? Why? It should be the same.
mm.
You know what I mean? Girls can protect
Listen,
themselves. Like,
there has to.
yeah, just because you're a female, it doesn't mean that you're weak or you're not strong. You are strong. You can learn self-defense. There's classes, karate, there's boxing, there's anything. Girls can become strong. There's so many ways people can defend themselves, and sometimes girls may feel as they are weak and they can't do anything, and they do need a man to be dependent on, and they do need to be protected. But sometimes they don't even need that. They can be strong in themselves. They should be taught
They
that they
I
can.
should be
think
strong in
There's
themselves.
I think like our in Asian community, they don't really ever think, like they always think, oh yeah, boys can learn karate, when they're younger, they can go to this class, that class, but they never think, oh, can a girl go learn karate?
Mm.
Can a girl go learn boxing at a young age? If she knows that from a young age, somebody tries to touch her, she'll like punch
She
or
knows
do
what she's
something
doing.
what
Yeah,
she
she knows
knows.
what she's doing.
You know what I mean?
You know what I
Like
mean?
all this raping, what happens? It happens because girls don't know self-defense. And
yeah.
it's not just
Well,
about,
that's
like
girls do need
family.
to.
Yeah.
Girls do need to learn self-defense. Personally, I don't think there's a problem with it. I knew a few girls in my school that learned self-defense. They used to go and do karate and all these jiu-jitsu and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
we never thought, why are they doing that? It was just like, yeah, cool, go for it. My sister did karate for a couple of years, I think. She's a lot younger than me. I remember she used to do karate and it was fine. My dad used to take her. He was like, yeah, cool, go ahead.
Yeah, and it should be like that.
There's
But
no
like,
wrong with that. But there's always I don't think that division will ever stop, unfortunately. I think that's just something that's embedded in our culture in a really dirty way. But a woman has her place, as in, there's women are special in their way because of the way they are.
Yeah.
You're a mother. I can't be a mother. As in, the care that you will bring to your kid, or the joy and happiness you will bring, you can't do that. But then we can do things that women can't do. That's just the way it is. Nothing wrong with that. You all have your place. Girls
yeah,
should learn self-defense. They should be independent. Yeah, it's not a problem. They should go out there and learn, do what they want to do.
Yeah.
You want to go out there, you want to work in product design, you want to work in this, go for it, do it.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of a difference even in, like, because they've been taught that, like, girls from a young age being taught that, you know what, you're a girl, stay like this and stay like this and stay like this. because you're a girl, right? But the
Yeah,
thing
but
is,
then that's when they revolt against that, and they're like, well, F
Yeah.
you told me to do this, but I'm not gonna do that now. And
that
especially
too,
nowadays,
Like-
because
but that too, then,
nowadays
yeah,
opinion is everybody's got one. So they're all these
absolutely,
little kids
Yeah,
all
like
got one.
I
Why not
was
nurture them rather than being forceful on them?
yeah.
like I was reading a post the other day on Instagram, and it said your children won't listen to your advice. They will look at your example. So
Mm.
be the example, what you want your kids to be like, you know.
Yeah.
Don't lecture them all day, you know. You have to be like, if you're a good person, your child will be a good person.
Yeah,
That's-
absolutely.
If you're not a good person, your child won't be good, doesn't matter. There's no point saying to your child, oh, don't lie, but then you're lying, you know, yourself in front of your
Yeah.
child.
Mm.
They're gonna be like, yeah, you're telling me to lie, but you're lying yourself.
And kids are very smart nowadays.
They're
Yeah,
very
Kids
smart.
pick up
especially
on things
nowadays.
very quick. Yeah, kids
But
will
that's the
pick up
thing,
on
though.
anything.
That's the thing, though, like, you know, because you know, kids are taught a certain way when they're young. When they come to an age when it's time to get married, it does affect them a lot, because sometimes it'll come to a point where if they're in a relationship with a partner, the other person will take over the other person because the other person's weaker, right?
The-
But,
There's always a power struggle. I think
yeah, there's always a
there's
power struggle, yeah.
always a
But
power
I
struggle.
feel like that comes
I
as,
think there always has been.
but I feel like
But,
that comes because of
Yeah,
the
but
way they grow.
I wouldn't say that it's just that women are always treated bad. Like I always say to my sister, that you know, all this women's equal rights, we're so busy trying to get that. Sometimes we do the same thing we're doing to girls, to boys, while we're trying to get the women empowerment.
mm,
You know what I mean? Like, or women are treated bad, you know, stay in the kitchen. But sometimes you might be like, I'm a woman, why do you go in the kitchen and work? Well, you're doing the same thing what people are doing to you to the other person. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So, like, people need to take that in mind, that, you know, especially when you're married, that it's a two-way thing. You know, you both have to do it together. You can't just think, oh yeah, I'm gonna cook all week and you just sit on the sofa. Take it in turns, you know.
Or do it together.
Yeah, do it
It's
together.
time for dinner. Do it together. All right, you cook, I'll do the dishes, or I'll cook, you do the dishes.
Yeah.
We'll do it together. Just tell me what to
And
do. or
it's
whatever.
not even bad to even do that. Some people think it's bad, or you know, if I clean the dishes or if I
This
cook,
is
I'm a
something
lady
that's
now.
promoted. This
Because
is something that's promoted.
a lot of men do
You
have
should
that
do it.
thinking though as well. That like I've heard a lot of people think that, oh, why are you doing the dishes for? You look like a woman. Why? Why is that made a more woman thing? Why can't you do you know how to do it? Do you not know how to clean
But
it?
like I forgot what I was gonna say now, but yeah, basically the other day, wait, let me think. I don't remember. Like, you don't carry on. I forgot what I was gonna say.
But yeah, you know, people should you know, think that it's better to work together, because if you do work together, it's just going to make your life a lot better and a lot easier. You know what I mean?
Sorry, I got a bit of a
All right, it's all right. Buddy. We sat down for a long time anyway.
we sat down for about an hour and a half. Yeah, I think this is
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Can I say it now?
Yeah, say it.
Basically, women are always shown that, you know, they're always abused. I'm a woman, so if I speak about it,
excuse me.
people are not gonna think, oh yeah, she's just, you know, being bad to women. I'm not being bad to women,
Mm.
but people always think it's just women who are abused and, you know, they're not treated well. But men are abused as well, a lot. Like I watched this documentary on iPlayer about this English guy. He was abused by his girlfriend and then the mother of his children for a very, very long time. And he was abused to the extent where he was like burnt on his hands, arms, had stitches in his head, and people never knew. People never knew, you know, that he's been abused by his girlfriend, only because he was a guy, and you know, guys don't get abused.
Yeah.
And I just think that, you know, men do get abused.
Yeah, they do.
In every culture, in every ethnicity, in every part of the world, they do. But people just think, oh, men are strong, they don't get abused. Men are strong, they don't cry, they don't have feelings. And I think that's why men have less life expectancy, because women sit together, they get all this stress out, talk about it, but men, they never ever talk about their feelings. They're always told, man up about it.
Bottle it in.
Yeah,
And you
and
shouldn't bottle it in, because you take it out, because that's taking it out makes you feel better. See, if you're stressed about something, you're just gonna keep thinking about that thing, aren't you?
Yeah, it's better to get it out. Better out than everyone says better out than
Like Faji,
like
if you're stressed about something and you tell me about it, you feel a lot better after, don't you? So, because you
normally,
told
yeah.
me about it and we've talked about it, and I've said,
but I
Faz,
think
like,
that's now.
Yeah.
Like, you lot talk about it now in this day and age, but I remember in my day and age, no one talked about their family problems with their friends. They'd be like, what you want about? Are you a woman or something? I know, because there was guys in my class and they were just taught to be bad boys, knock this person out, they didn't even care about the feelings. And it's now, I think now, in this generation now, they're doing this, which is good. And I think definitely there will be some like evidence or something in a few years where they say, oh, men have a more life expectancy now compared to women, because I'm sure women is 10 years more than men.
It might be. I've never really looked at it, but it probably is. Now, I think it is becoming a certain. Now I think in men that I've seen, we've become a bit more. I think we could pick up a little bit more when one of our friends is down, or if some of our family members are not feeling too much wrong. We can sort of pick up on it, and we might pull them to the side and say, "Look, what's up? You want to talk about something?" Just to keep it between you. If they don't feel like, if they're still not feeling well, I don't really want to tell anyone. Okay, just keep it between me and you. What's up? It might make you feel better, or give them some advice. I think men are clicking onto that a little bit more as well.
Yeah.
But there is that feeling as well with lads that we have to keep it in, or we just can't show sign of weakness. You try and make yourself forget about it, but you can't, because if someone's bothering you, someone's bothering you.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
I was for a very, very long time, I was one of those people where someone was bothering me, I just bottle it in and screw it up. No one would be able to tell. Then there came a point where you could tell that I'm upset or I'm angry about something, or someone's bothering me. And then, friends or someone would say, look, what's going on? You're right. And credit to my teacher for this. One of my teachers who teaches me music, he was one of the first people who actually said this to me. And he helped me a lot. And he says, look, if there is something bothering you, talk to someone about it, get it out, don't keep it in. The more you keep it in, the more it's going to do you over. And now if I have to say something to Yash, or if someone's bothering me, I'll speak to him, I'll speak to other friends, I'll speak to, my teacher and ask him for advice. So these things are becoming a bit more common now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there weren't so much before.
Totally, because there has been a lot of situations where people have committed suicide because of that.
Yeah, they have, man.
Men, a lot of men.
Look, think about it, Baji. You got so much on your mind to sit the boys bender. You got it bottled in. It either is going to explode or it's going to kill you from inside.
Yeah, because you just
I think a lot of
you might as well just get it out of your system, get it out. Even if it's not out in the open in general, because maybe there are certain people who can't get out in the open. But
I think a lot of guys nowadays have, like, there's been reported like, oh, this person was in depression, but back in the day, when I always say back in the day, because it was like, when I was in school 15 years ago, back in the day, no one would ever hear that that guy went into depression. But nowadays, so many people are in depression, so many guys are in depression.
You would be shocked if I told you this. Before COVID started, 1 in every 4 people was depressed. Yeah. Now I think it's doubled. I think maybe 3 in 4, maybe 2 or 3 in 4 people are depressed now, because
they're stuck inside, aren't they?
Yeah, but they're coming up to light now, because now a lot of people don't have anyone to talk to.
Yeah.
And their one avenue was to get it out, was to speak to someone or go to their classes or whatever they did, or go to work and stuff. People can't do that now, or they couldn't do that. They've not been able to do that for such a long time. And it's built up and built up. Look at the death toll. Look how many people have committed suicide recently. Look at the last year.
Yeah, absolutely.
You go and Google it, just in the UK, you'll be shocked. You'll think, how are people dying like this? Every second person you talk to will say, oh yeah, I feel a bit better now, I'm getting out of it. Because it hit everyone. Absolutely. And it does hit people. Everyone's been through it at one point, I think. I don't think there's any person around that's not had some sort of depression or anxiety. Yeah. It is a normal thing, it's a natural thing, and it's terrible. It's unbelievably terrible. But get it out, talk to your mates about it. It will help. Absolutely. It
Definitely. And there's a lot of helplines nowadays as well, out there, you can ring them, tell them your problems.
Citizens Advice Bureau, I think it's called.
I'm not sure. There's like lots of
loads. I mean,
I've seen so many adverts. Yeah, they're always like saying, "Oh, ring this number if you're having a problem." I don't know which one because I've not used them, but I've seen adverts, but I don't remember the companies.
A lot more awareness now because it's a lot more common.
Yeah, which I think is good because men will start to feel a bit more, light-hearted and stuff, and not take, life so
serious.
So like serious and take all the weight on their shoulders.
Yeah.
Because I think men do have a lot of weight on their shoulders, especially in the Asian community.
Because they're always under so much pressure, aren't they, from the family? Oh, you gotta be like this. You gotta be really strong. You gotta be like this. Yeah, but
listen to your wife, listen to your mom, listen to your in-laws, listen to this, listen to that.
And then on top of that, then you've got.
Me and Yash are even married yet. We're really banging ahead in the world,
No, but then on top of that, you've still got like you come out of uni, like we've just finished uni, right?
Yeah.
We're doing masters, but after masters, we're still thinking, will I get a job? Will I get this in the future? If I'm going to run a house, will I be able to do that?
Will I be able to feed my parents? Will I be able to feed my wife?
Will I be able to feed a person if I've got a life partner? Will I be able to do this, do that? There's so much things.
Well, it is.
But yeah,
we do have a lot of responsibility. There's no doubt about that. We do have a lot of expectation put on us, and we have a lot of self-expectation as well. But instead of saying, will this happen? Or when is this going to happen? I think the best thing to do is think, if it happens, brilliant. If it doesn't happen, there's always going to be another way out.
Yeah, absolutely. There's always a lot.
I'm not just going to die starving, am I? And I'm not going to let anyone else around me do that. So whatever, look, we've got another example. Your sister, you did your degree in education. You're working as a photographer. So you're not doing what you were educated to do, but you're doing something else. But it's your livelihood was written there by God anyway. No matter what happened, you would end up there. What happens in the future, nobody knows. Why do you want to know? Have your targets, yes. Have your aims, yes. But
if you did know, life wouldn't be fun. It would just be so boring. You'd know, oh yeah, that's gonna happen in the future.
Yeah, it's like if you know you was gonna if Zayn, you know that you was gonna win the lottery next week, would you be excited?
You'd be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna win it, innit?
Oh, I won it now. Yeah, I've got it. Oh, I see it. Wow.
Would I be excited? That's a tough question.
No, but you'd be excited for one.
I'll probably be doing it on top of my roof. I'll probably be on top of my roof doing it out.
No, but the thing is, you'd be excited for 1, 2, 3 days, but after that, you'd be like, all right, well, what am I going to do with the money now? You know what I mean? You just start thinking of other things, but you wouldn't be excited. You wouldn't have that like maza, like, yeah, whoa, wow. You know,
you wouldn't. But I think if something like that were to happen, or if you knew what was going to happen, with people in general, it's written that we're never satisfied. I wonder, for example, you're going to win the lottery in 2 days' time.
You always want more.
You think, oh yeah, I can't wait for that to happen. Or, okay, now it's happened. Right, what's next? What am I going to do now? Yeah. Right, I want more. What's more?
It's human nature, isn't it?
It's human nature.
We just want more all the time.
I feel like until you don't understand that, why am I wanting more, and you start understanding that, you know what, I should be happy with what I've already got, and let me work with that. Because if you start working with that, that's the only when you start enjoying life, you start being a lot more happier, because they'll be like, if I get a car today, I'll be like, yeah, I've got a car, but then next day I'll be like, oh, but I want that car. I want that house. I want this thing. I want that thing. But why? I should be happy with what I've got right now. What has God given me right now? And then God will give me more because I've been grateful for that thing.
Grateful for what I've got now. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's the
That's
same with
what
us. Like, our studies, we've done what we had to do. Now we're both like we're doing our master's degrees. It's very difficult. I've got an exam coming up in 2 weeks, and I'm not going to be lying. I'm a bit stressed out, but I know I'm going to prepare as best I can. Hopefully, I'll do well. If I don't do well, I'll always get another chance.
Absolutely.
So no point in just taking it all on your head. Do the best you can. Hope for the best. Try your best, but don't worry so much about it because there's always going to be other chances. There's always going to be other avenues for you to go and make a living.
Yeah.
You know, that's not going to end. And stop putting, lads, stop putting pressure on yourself like that. Because trust me, it's not going to help you.
Yeah.
You'll be walking around looking like a smack backside.
like they say in our religion that Rab di raza vich rehna chahida, like stay happy in what God's already given you. That's
Definitely.
what the way of life is. Don't like expect too much, don't want more, just see what God's going to give you, what he's got in store for you.
Exactly. It might be better for you. It could be a lot better for you. It will be a lot better for you.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I
Like,
think that's the perfect message, I think, to end this because
I just want to mention one more thing.
Wait, how many minutes have we got? How many minutes have we got, Zin?
Well, we've done about an hour, so I think another 4 or 5 minutes.
Okay, yeah, just finish it off. You can finish it off.
Yeah, like we was talking about the girls equality thing.
Yeah.
There was another thing I was mentioned to you before we started the podcast that there's a culture in Indian community that a Lodi. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of it in Bollywood and whatever.
I don't think.
But Lodi,
yeah,
Lodi is celebrated to celebrate harvest. But a lot of our Indian communities celebrate it if they've had a boy. That day on Lodi, if they've had the baby in the past year, on Lodi day they'll have a party or give mithai out, make it a big deal. And if a girl's born, you don't do Lodi. Nowadays we do because we've come away from that. But back in the day, if you do Lodi for a girl, people would be like, "You're mental. Why are you doing that for?" And
what about the pink laddu thing you were talking about?
Yeah, there was this Instagram. There's this Instagram organization. It's a woman.
And we actually are shouting it out. So So if guys, you want to follow it, go follow it. But if Pink Laddu, recognizes us and wants to come on here.
Pink Laddu Project is called. It's called the Pink Laddu Project. And they're trying to raise awareness of women. In the Indian culture, women should get equal rights. Treated as good as guys do. And there was a post what I read on there. It said, Lodi, it doesn't matter if you don't celebrate your son's Lodi, celebrate your daughter's Lodi. Make sure you celebrate it because you are the only person who's going to celebrate her as a parent. All our community always, they're not going to celebrate a woman because when they go to in-laws, it's just a daughter-in-law coming in our family. She's always going to be put down. But if you celebrate her, she will grow up with that confidence that, I'm no less than anybody else. But if you don't celebrate them, boys live in a society where they're celebrated anyway. The pride and joy of the family. But women, they're not celebrated. So that message what I'm trying to give is celebrate your daughters. Yeah, it does matter that we celebrate our sons. Like I celebrated Lodi for my son. And if I have a daughter in the future, I'm going to celebrate her Lodi too. Because for me, my child is my child, whether it's a girl or a boy, it doesn't make any difference to me.
Regardless of the gender.
But we need to remember boys are grow up in a society where they're celebrated on every milestone, in every parts of the world. And just the one last thing, that the bullying subject, what we mentioned, you asked me that was there a time when it got better? The only reason I was able to talk about bullying today, bullying gave me very, very less confidence where I'm not, even till today, I'm not really confident talking to people. When I talk, my English just gets all muddled up. I can't get my words out properly. I get really stuttery. And I don't know, a lot of people probably noticed that, probably thought, oh, she don't know how to speak English properly or whatever. But it's just because my confidence is so low. And the only time it became better was when I met my husband. This year, it's going to be 10 years since I've known my husband. Before I married him, I knew him for 2 years before we got engaged. And then after that, I married him after 4 years. So I've known him a really long time. And he's the person who taught me to be confident, to be happy as what I am. Whatever, like, people always say to me, oh, I'm not independent. I don't care, because, you know, my husband, he's made me feel so, he makes me feel independent every single day. And he's the one who's given me this confidence that I'm able to talk about bullying today. If it wasn't for him, I would still be probably locked away in my room, just crying about this. But bullying has made me stronger, and my husband coming into my life has made me a lot stronger. He helped me through everything, and even Yash knows, and even my sister knows, that he does help them a lot with their problems. Anything like
Yash always mentions him.
Yash, he's always been through a lot in life, and my husband, he's always there to, you know, tell him the solution. And I don't know why, it sounds really dumb, but it always turns out right. I always say to him, oh, you're not always right, you know, but he is actually always right. He's got a good head on his shoulders. And I'm just proud that I married a really great guy. And I'm so happy that he's the father of my child, because I know my child is going to be one amazing human being. He's going to be amazing friend, brother, husband, granddad, or whatever you want to say. He's going to be everything. And that's all down to my husband. You know, he's the one who's made me feel independent. He's the one, you know, I can't say that I was in my life as much as I am now. Like, my husband is the best. And I don't want to say too much, because I don't want anybody to put nazar on him. I don't believe in that, but yeah.
Oh no, trust me, you should believe in it. It's a real thing, but he won't get that. He's a very good person. Just make sure you put some red lard meat on his head or something. You know, that's feeling better. That's what we do in our culture. They're like,
I got ready, something instead.
No, but once I got ready, quickly I'll end it here. I got ready, and like, we were going to a wedding or something. And Mum, obviously, my mum thought, oh my god, he looks so nice, blah blah blah. I walked outside and got like a garden bed, picked some meat up and just smacked it on my forehead. I was like, what are you doing?
All that gel,
no, like here, she just went like that, like rub it on. I was like, Mum, what the hell are you doing? And she goes, oh, no, you look really nice, and you know, you might get poorly and this and that. Because I get poorly quite a bit because of it. But they do stuff like that, or like they'll burn red chilies and like smoke the house out. And you think, what?
In our Indian culture, they do that too, and they put kala tikka as well behind the ear.
Yeah, they do all sorts.
But it's all worldly things. I think it's all worldly things anyway. You know, all these doing all these little things and that. But what we should really do is just be truthful with each other, love each other.
It's just bad energy, isn't it? Like, don't put someone to put send bad energy your way. That's all. But
absolutely. But yeah, well, look,
my husband, he's the calmest person. I don't think anybody would want to put bad energy on him, because you know him, nothing affects him at all. Like, someone could say anything to him, he wouldn't like say anything back. He would just take it in and just chill. What happened there?
I think you just
did it freeze?
Yeah, did you actually?
Right, okay, let's
end this.
Let's end it.
I'll come on next time.
She'll come on next time, guys. If you want to see my sister a lot more on the podcast, then, you know, say it in the comments. Messages. We've got an Instagram page, which is DesiBoyzpodcast on Instagram. Zain, do you want to say bye to everybody? And then I need to say something quickly in the end. You guys want to say your goodbye?
I just want to say something. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I've always wanted to say that. And make sure you follow Desi Boyz podcast page on Instagram. And thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you very much for being on. Yeah, she's done my bit, so yeah. Thank you very much for watching.
And guys,
see you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. And guys, you know, be happy, love each other, respect each other, respect your family, respect your relatives. And what else are you going to do in the world? You know what I mean? You're you're gonna go from this world, and you're just gonna, you'll just be left with people.
You came empty-handed and you're gonna go empty-handed.
Absolutely. So, guys, we'll see you next week for another episode of DesiBoyz podcast. Guys, want to do the salute, everyone?
Take care.
The salute, everyone.
Double ended. Take care.